to the Slaying Self Doubt YouTube channel. Here is where we empower Black women to overcome their doubts, fears, and insecurities in order to walk into their God given purpose. How do we do that, you ask? Well, we create safe and brave spaces just like this for Black women to show up authentically as themselves. So join me and sometimes some of my friends or our journey as we remind you that you are not alone. I am Coach Felicia, and together we will find our fears and slay them. Hey, Slayers, welcome back to another episode of Slaying Self Doubt Podcast. I am here with Valencia Wallace. Look at us, we got the same last names out here, y'all. And she is from Akanni Beauty, and she hails from New Orleans. Are you originally from there?
Louisiana.
Oh, Louisiana. That's different. See, y'all, this is a lesson, right? This the reason why when you tell people you from a state the same way I be like, they be like, you I say that somebody will ask me, where you from? I used to say Maryland, right? And then they'd
Yeah.
be like, oh, Baltimore. And I'd be like, we are not the same. I'm from Prince George's County. There's a difference. So my apologies. Okay. Albany, Louisiana. All right.
Yes. Yes. Which I'm 45 minutes from New Orleans.
Okay. Yeah, that's
And
about how Baltimore
yeah,
is from us, about 45 minutes, but it is completely two separate worlds. So
yeah.
my apologies. Okay, y'all. She from Louisiana. Okay. Let me make sure I get it straight. Okay, because let somebody say I'm from Baltimore. No disrespect, be more, but y'all know we PG County all the way. Okay. So welcome Valencia to the show. I wanted usually I tell the audience like how we met each other. So
Mhm.
we connected on an app called Black Women Hustle app. You guys are not a stranger to me sharing this story or sharing this app. So this is an app by LaShawn Draher who has intentionally created something to connect Black women entrepreneurs to be able to collaborate, connect, uh, uh, influence, to share whatever's going on. She is intentionally putting us together so that we can network to for us to be able to just grow the things that God has put inside of us and grow our businesses and connect us to people that we would
Mhm.
never have met or come across. And so I put something in the app, welcoming ladies to come onto the show. And Valencia was one of the ladies who said, "Yeah, girl, I love to come and tell my story." So thank you so much for connecting with me on the app. And I'm excited to get into all things Akana Beauty. Okay.
Yay. Thank you so much for having me.
You are so welcome. So before we get started, can you tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got started?
Okay. I am Valencia Griffin-Wallace, and a little about my story. Everybody's lives pretty much changed when the pandemic happened.
Mm-hmm.
So pre-pandemic, I traveled, I spoke. My natural inclination is to save the world
I don't.
because when you experience childhood trauma and you have to save yourself,
Mm, yeah.
some people hide and run from that. But for me, I knew I had some like weird, uncommon superpower strength. I'm gonna just save the world. So that
Yeah.
my job before COVID, I was saving women, but my heart has always been to help kids.
Okay. I see how that all ties together.
Right. So
Yeah.
it's just like I say, my life is a gumbo of ingredients that went
Mm-hmm.
in. And so that led me into fostering, and now I'm an adoptive parent of two twin girls. But I say that to
Nice.
say, yeah, that's all I gotta say. Boys are different.
Well,
Girls,
listen, hold up. I got two boys, and I don't know. I remember being they are different. They are. Let me. Yeah.
they
They.
because
Yeah.
my only biological child is a son, and he's 26.
Okay. Okay.
I've lucked up because
But you
these
know that they say that first one be the one that's just like
so easy.
they definitely are. Yeah. My mine are 16 and 14. I think it might be the ages. I say having two teens is like having two kids under two.
Yeah,
So yeah. Mm-hmm.
I don't miss those teenage years at all. But life is really funny because as the pandemic started, and I started my certification to become a foster parent
Mhm.
because I saw the need in the system.
Yeah.
Then I thought it was stress, only to find out that I was going through perimenopause.
Oh, yeah, girl, yeah.
I blamed it on the kids and the system, and my doctor was like, "Yeah, no, ma'am, that's not the case."
Right,
Which,
right, right. Yeah, no, that's just you. That's you.
because according to Google and other search engines, I ain't that age yet. So what you mean?
Listen,
What you
we this
mean?
how I knew that this conversation was because I'm feeling you right now. Okay, like
Mhm.
who said that it was time? I don't think I'm ready, but go ahead, go ahead. Uh huh.
Mm. Well, that and I pretty much always have, as I got older, just started living a more holistic life.
Mhm.
And I didn't want to do hormone therapy, none of
Yeah.
that. We still dealing with lawsuits with
Right.
perms.
Sis. Okay.
Okay? If I can't grow it, I don't want
I
to
want
know
it. I
it.
don't want no part. I know that's right. If I can't grow it, I don't want to know it. That's good. That's good.
So that led me into getting certifications like in natural skincare and wellness and those things that us as black women mothers need to know.
Mhm.
So kind
Mhm.
of bringing it, tying it together is, I definitely couldn't take hormone therapy because needed to save the world of women and children. I
Right.
couldn't
Right.
do that, like that wasn't for me.
Yeah.
So that led me to Akanni Beauty. Long
Yeah.
story short.
No, that's good. That's good. I wonder one of the things that I wanted to ask though,
Mhm.
and even as we talk about, self-doubt, because that's what this whole
Yeah.
movement is about, right? You brought up a couple of different things, trauma as a kid,
Mhm.
then wanting to save the world. The question that I have initially was like, why do you think that that's something that we as women feel like we have to do? Not to say that if we wear this S on our chest without anybody asking us, without
Mhm.
anybody saying that, what do you think is the driving force behind a lot of us feeling like because of what we've been through, we got to save everybody versus, taking care of ourselves first.
I think it comes from every see, we make a mistake and think all of us are built this way,
Mm,
right?
mm, mm-hmm.
So some of us, a select few, it seemed
Yeah.
like everybody, but you attract what you put out. So
Yeah.
if you have that internal, um I need to not need to save people. I don't want to say need, but if you
Mm-hmm.
have that internal calling to save people because you realize the strength it took,
Yeah. Yeah.
everybody don't have that strength.
That's
And
facts.
so it's like then you needing to eat. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying?
Mm-hmm.
Everybody don't have the ability to cook. If that makes sense. Or
Yeah, it does make
everybody can't
sense.
cook. Everybody want to eat, everybody can't cook.
That's facts.
So when we have that thing in us is like, I want to help.
Mm-hmm.
I want to be of service. And that's the bigger picture. We
Yeah.
can't, and I always say this too. Everything doesn't bother everybody, right? But if it bothers you,
Mm-hmm.
that's your internal calling. That's that
Yeah.
thing that's like you're supposed to do something about it. Whether it's a podcast, a conversation, a phone call,
Mm-hmm.
it bothers you. It may
Yeah.
not bother Valencia.
No, that's so true. And I think that one of the things that you said is like you have to know for yourself what the thing is that you're supposed to do. Oftentimes we feel like we can do all the things. We find that
Yeah,
just in regular life, you know what I'm saying? It doesn't have
yeah.
to necessarily we feel like we have to be everything for
Mhm,
everybody.
mhm.
And I think some of the downfall to doing that, as we're learning as we get older for myself, personally, is like I have to be there for me first because I
Yep.
really can't give to my
Mhm,
kids. I can't give to my husband. I can't give
mhm.
to my business. Can't get to my job. Can't get to my friends. I can't do
Yeah.
all them things if I'm broke down, right?
Mhm.
You hear it all the time when you're on the plane. Put your mask on first before you
Yeah.
help the person next to you because you can't help me if you're not breathing. I
Yeah.
know I'm not really sure how that's supposed to work, right? But I'm wondering, as you have, like you said, having that pre-pandemic
Yeah.
mindset of I have to save the world. What was the shift in the panorama that made you say no? It's kids.
Well, that's still like Whitney Houston say, children are the future.
Yeah, yeah,
So by me doing my part, and that's the thing. So that save the world. I'm an Aquarius. So we think we could save everything. Dog, cat, sky, sun, the climate, everything.
yeah, yeah.
So but you take that bigger picture like,
Hmm.
and then you make it smaller. And you make it smaller to manageable to what you need to do. So I
That's
used to
good.
volunteer. I
Hmm.
used to mentor. I used to so these were steps, right? So you
Hmm.
take the little steps to get to where
Where
okay,
exactly you're
this,
supposed
right.
to be. Yeah, yeah,
Because you couldn't have told me 3, 4, 5 years ago I would be adopting kids,
yeah,
much
yeah.
less twins that are just they'll be 4 in March
Oh, you
that
got
are
some babies, some toddlers.
girl, oh my
Hold on, wait a
gosh.
minute, time out. You got
Mhm.
babies and you said your oldest is 26?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, and you started over. Okay then,
Yeah.
more power to you, sis. More power
But
to you.
it was like I knew so I started mentoring and volunteering, right?
Mhm.
Because I know what it's like to be that child that people judge you based on things out of your control. So
Mhm.
I started volunteering and mentoring because these kids look like me, but the people that's there to serve them don't.
What that part, yeah.
So what can I do?
Mhm.
So I became what they call a casa. So I started going to court with kids that were in foster care to advocate for them.
Yeah. That's
Period.
yeah.
And I really saw the need. I saw the need. There's enough garbage and enough finger pointing to go around, but I can't worry about that because I'm here for a reason.
Yeah, yeah.
And then I don't care what people say or think. I'm
Mhm.
here to advocate for these kids. So that means
Yeah.
I may not agree with reunification. I may
Yeah.
not agree with what the DCFS or whoever say. I'm here for these kids. Y'all not
Yeah.
paying me
Right,
because
right,
that was
yeah.
strictly, you know.
Volunteer,
So
yeah, yeah.
but I saw the need, and of course, COVID it got worse.
Mhm.
Um, and I was like, "Hey, we got room. My son out the house. I could at least start fostering at least short term."
Yeah.
And then here I am, somebody mama, some girl,
Somebody,
mama
whole
to
mama.
some girls.
Whole mama to some girls. Well, first of all, let
Yeah,
me just commend you on even for going down that route, right? Because and doing the work because I think oftentimes we talk about a lot of things that's wrong with the
yeah,
world, but we don't do the necessary things, or we're not necessarily a part of the solution. I it just made me think of a video I saw earlier today with the country artist Jelly Roll, and he's on, Capitol Hill. He's talking
mhm,
about the fentanyl epidemic, and he was like, initially I was a part of the problem, right? Like he was a drug dealer, and so he was like, but now I want to be a part of the solution. Like when you know better, you do better. I didn't
mhm,
know at that time what needed to be done or what should be done, but I'm doing my part to make a difference. And I think that you recognizing that and then doing something makes the difference. I think the other thing is that when you're outside of it and you don't know, for me, my background was in healthcare. It was really with adults. I literally, up until this very moment, I never even thought about kids in
mhm.
foster care during COVID. Like it
Yep.
never even crossed my mind. My mother-in-law was in a nursing home, so of course those things were my. But if you're not in it or if you're not connected to it,
Yeah.
you don't think about how they were affected by being
Mhm.
stuck in a system for what two additional years. Like you couldn't do anything,
Well,
and like or however many years addition to it. Because I'm sure certain that adoptions or fostering probably halted during that time, correct?
what happened? So okay, so I'm glad you brought up drugs. So you think about the problem, right? You got
Mhm.
more addicts and those
Mhm.
things. So you have more kids coming into the system. You
Mm.
have the economic and the stress of COVID. So
Right.
you got more abuse cases, more kids coming into the system. And then you
Jesus.
got foster parents that are like, I got to deal with my own, ain't no
Now my
COVID
kids at
chance.
home and I own my
Correct.
teacher. Yeah,
So
yeah.
you had I mean, less homes because people were closing their homes left, right, and sideways.
Wow. Wow. Yeah.
So you have, I mean, even now, like the amount of newborns that's born with drugs in their system,
Mm. Mhm.
and the amount that's coming into the system, and they've called me, hey, I just need to discharge this baby
Yeah. That is
until we
crazy.
find placement, like
Yeah.
straight from the hospital. That's not even, I like kids that could go to the bathroom by themselves.
Amen.
But the baby didn't ask to be born
Yeah.
with drugs in their system.
Yeah, yeah, man, that is so. Again, like I said, I just want to commend you for bringing that to light. It didn't dawn on me. Like
Yeah.
and this is when you're removed from certain stuff, right? Like, and I think that
Mhm.
that's what you said about when something bothers you and it's burdened into you, what's close to you. Like God knows
Mhm.
exactly where He's placing people, and so when like you said, when you're thinking about saving the world, for me on my end, I'm like, hey, I want us to be able to talk about the things that are eating us up on the inside. I want
Mhm.
us to reframe our negative self thoughts, our negative
Yeah.
talk. I want us to know that even though we have self doubt and we feel insecure about things, girl, if you don't get up and go out there and do what you've been called to
Yeah.
do, right? Like that's my end. But your end was, this is what I see, this is what I know, I need to do something. And so I really do commend you for doing the work, because doing is the hardest part. Doing is the hardest part. And so
Mhm.
bless your heart with them
Thank
toddlers.
you,
That's what I'm saying.
girl.
Bless your heart
The
with
fact
them.
that they napping right now, but kind of to go back to what you said, my thing, I didn't know that it was gonna be kids in foster care, right?
Mm,
I didn't know. I just knew
right.
I needed to help kids that were raised like me.
Yeah,
My
yeah.
mom was a drug addict. I was judged as a child, looked down on, treated, went from pillar to post to everywhere else. So I'm like, who could relate to these kids
Mm-hmm.
better
Mm-hmm.
than me?
Yeah, yeah.
And I mean, I don't socialize with other foster parents
Mm-hmm.
because a lot of them have just from my experience, a I'm gonna take kids from their parents, and I would be the one. My mama was a drug addict, but that was still my mama. I still
Right.
loved her and
Yeah,
wanted to
yeah.
be with her.
Right. Yeah.
Because when people think the child of a drug addict, they don't see my put together self.
Right. Yeah, yeah. Like that's still, like you said, that's still my mama. Like
Yeah.
that's,
And
you separating the disease from the person, right? Like
yeah,
those are two
yeah.
different things. No, I totally get that. So throughout your journey, how has self-doubt showed up?
Oh my goodness. Self-doubt has showed up because of other people.
Mm.
In the way of, and I'm sure you could relate, and many of your listeners and viewers could relate. A lot of times people will tell you all the things you cannot do. And then when they tell you what you could be, it's never anything good.
Mhm. Mhm.
And so because I was judged because my mom was a drug addict, right?
Yeah.
It was, you're gonna be just like your mom,
Mm.
or you're not smart, or you're not this. And so you have a nonstop record playing in your head where you doubt everything you do.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it was that was a battle. That other people thoughts, the other OPT, we gonna call that. That's the opt-in you don't ask for.
I like that.
OPT.
OPT. Yes.
Because you think about it, as a child, when you're growing up, you are confident, you think you could take over the world, fly, everything else. It's
Mhm.
other people that makes you start doubting yourself,
Yeah.
right?
That's so true.
And so I'm coming from a not so pretty background, and I have friends and other people that have normal households. They could do anything. Who am I?
Right, yeah, yeah. And I was gonna say when you sharing that, is that oftentimes that is people's perception of themselves. Like generally, when people
Yeah,
are putting negative, negative things out on you, is because they're what's the word, projecting. They're
yeah,
projecting how how they feel about themselves, right? But it's
yeah,
easier for me to tell you what you can or cannot do because I'm struggling too, right? So
yeah.
instead of me encouraging you, I'm going to tear you down because I'm tearing myself
Mhm,
down. And a lot of
mhm.
times people are like, "Well, I don't talk to myself like that." And I'm like, the number of people I hear, they be doing stuff and they be like, "I'm so stupid," and I be like,
Yeah,
why would you say that? Like, no, you're not, you know? And we don't realize that, like, even our kids, like my sons, is sometimes they're like, oh, I'm such a dummy. No, you're not. You maybe made
mhm.
a mistake, maybe like, but those little tiny things lead up to stuff. But then guess what? Now you're calling your brother a dummy. No, he's not.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't have no dumb kids. How about that? Like, that's how I be. I be like, don't talk to my son like that. And
Yeah.
even though you think it's your brother, no, you're not going to put him down because you're
Mhm.
feeling a certain type of way, and or because it's joking, right? You being
Yeah,
funny, you playing around. We don't play like that. Like we're not doing that. Because you have enough people that's going to try to do that outside these
yeah,
four walls. But in
yeah,
here, you're going to encourage each other as best as you. And like I know they're going to be siblings, but
yeah,
as best as you can. No, we're gonna be respectful of each other, right? But I think to your point that like other people's thoughts take over
yeah,
what we
yeah.
do, and how do you think that you work through those thoughts so that you could either rid yourself of them or reframe them?
Well, let me go back to what I said about me being an Aquarius. We are notoriously stubborn, I think I've heard from others. So, the thing that saved me was being stubborn and not
Mm,
wanting to prove other people right.
wow. Okay.
And
Yeah.
so if nothing, like, we all have to find that things that work for us.
Yeah.
And then even things I didn't believe about me, I would say it to myself.
Yeah.
Valencia, you are smart. I kept saying that long before I believed it because I was called stupid.
Yeah. Yeah.
And Valencia, you can have this, and this. And this person don't believe that you could do this. So what you gonna do about it?
Mhm. Mhm.
Sometimes you gotta get in the mirror and ask yourself,
What's
like,
up?
uh, yeah, you gotta pull out that inner gangster or
Yes.
whatever you wanna call it and be like, okay, so what you gonna do about
Yeah,
it?
yeah, yeah.
And so I literally had to retrain, and it's a daily process. I think people think, okay, I'm gonna do it 21 days and all that, check off the no, no, no. This is every day.
It's a daily listen, that's why when I remember having this moment where I was, like, slaying, and I was like,
Yeah,
"Oh, it's an action," because when I
it
envision it,
is.
you're walking through, like, with a machete, and you just slicing things down, and
Yeah,
maybe it's tall, maybe it's short, maybe it's wide, maybe it's skinny,
yeah,
it don't matter, but you're continuously doing it. One of the what you just said about, having being stubborn, and, like, telling yourself those things, these are like, we don't realize as adult women that that is
hmm,
something that starts at a very young age
yep,
in very small things, right? And if we are not if we don't learn how to self-affirm or reframe those words and those thoughts and those patterns, we turn into adults who think like that about
yep,
themselves in every aspect of our lives, which is why
yep,
I say self-doubt shows up in every area. And I think for me, when you talk about, I'm not an Aquarius, I'm a Scorpio, but when you talk about saving the world, right? One of my
yeah,
things is that I don't care who you are. If I hear you talking down about yourself, we're
yeah,
not doing that. You're not going to, what are y'all to say? Not on my watch. Okay.
yeah,
Not on my watch am I going to allow you to talk negatively about yourself. And I'm going to, at the same time, encourage you
yeah,
to change what it is that you're saying because that's not true, right?
yeah,
And I think that a part of this whole self-doubt journey is you're gonna have moments where things don't work out, and you are gonna
Yeah.
feel bad about it and feel, negative. And
Yeah.
I'm not telling you not to feel it. It just can't stay there. And you got to
Right.
be able to say, yeah, it ain't worked this time. And maybe I am feeling disappointed, but I'm not discouraged.
Yeah.
Be disappointed. That's a feeling. That's fine. It's
Or
okay.
like I said, I would rather an oops than a what if.
Mm, mm,
So I'm a try, right? I'm a
yeah.
try. And I ain't saying I'm gonna give it 100. It might just have 10, but I'm gonna try.
Yeah.
And then I think just my background, the way I grew up having to be tough. So
Mm,
that means even I have to be tough with myself.
yeah. Yeah.
Like literally, I have to talk to myself like we facing each other on the street. Like
Look,
what you gonna do? Your back then been against the wall before. Look at all the stuff you survived, and that helps.
yeah.
Look all at all the things that you've done. And
Mm-hmm.
it may have been 5 years ago, 50 years ago, 10 years ago. You may have to go on Facebook or whoever and pull up
Right. Go
some
to your
memories
memories.
to remind yourself of like, dang, I
Yeah.
survived that.
I
Because we
tell people,
forget.
yeah, we do. I tell my clients often, like, you have to run your own track record. And
Mhm.
I think in what is this? This is 2024. So in 2022, I started making a list of my wins, like for the year. I don't care
Mm.
what they were. It didn't have to be in business. It could have been even if I only did it once, right? I did
Yep.
it. I conquered whatever that thing is. And so I started keeping a tab of like, these are the things that I did, even if I did something for the first time, whatever the case may
Mm.
be, even whatever it was, it just was there for, like you said, for in those moments where I'm like, oh my gosh,
Yeah.
I gotta do this, I don't understand how. I can go back and look at that thing and be like, girl, I mean, you quit after 21 days, but for 21 days you was lifting weights. Okay,
That
well, let me try
part.
again. And if I
Or
if I did it, I can do it again.
do it again. Yeah. I went through a whole it's that hustle grind. I'm gonna get up at 5 o'clock. I
uh
can't get up at 5 if I'm going to bed at 2. I'm not a morning person.
yes, ma'am.
When I wake up, the dogs wake up. It benefits no one.
Mm-hmm,
Okay.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
But I did do it for like 5, 6, 7 days. I was excited and scared because what does this mean for
Right.
me? Like I'm a night person,
Yes, yes.
Uh, but I did it. Why? Because my husband thought I couldn't do it.
Mm.
Now I
So,
was like,
yeah,
I ain't want to do it,
right.
but
But test
because
me. Oh, okay. You want to
yeah,
see
like
something? Yeah.
test me.
Yeah,
I mean, it
yeah.
was a miserable week, but I did it. So who?
And now you can say you can because you
Right?
did. And I think sometimes we think that we have to do certain things successfully,
Yeah.
consistently in order for us to say that we did something. No, no, I don't. If you ask me,
Yeah.
have I ever ran? I have. Has it been
Yeah.
recently? No,
Mm-mm.
but I know
I don't
how.
even
If I
like
need
it.
if I needed to, I would, but if not, listen. Now if everybody else running, I'm a go.
That part.
Okay, but in the meantime, I'm good with my little power walk. All right, that's
Just
it.
running. Why? My
Just
knees hurt.
I listen. I don't
I'll be 47 next month. My knees. Let's.
child. I feel you. Okay, I'm just like let's. I'm okay. I'm good at what I'm doing
Mhm.
at this point. So, what have you learned about yourself during this journey that you didn't know before?
That I'm good at chemistry.
Okay.
I hated chemistry. I failed chemistry. But I wanted to be able to produce my own products or at least
Mm,
be able to look at somebody's ingredients and know what purpose this ingredient served.
yeah.
And me and science like we was like enemies,
Mhm.
you know? We and that taught me I could if I put my mind to it, I could learn anything. So the
Yeah.
fact that I have like beakers and glass stirs and a pH meter
Come
because
on
I have
now.
to make sure the pH is all this science stuff that if someone would have told me years ago, I would have been like, when you gonna use that?
Hey, listen, but like we said earlier, everything kind of ties in together, right? Your story ties in these little pieces, but I think that's a part of the what do you a part of the journey of being seeing how it changes, that which is seeing how things change, right? Which is one of the
Yeah.
reasons why I love this question, because there are moments that we think about, we go back, like when you say chemistry in high school, right? You know what I'm saying? So you like 20 years ago, it didn't seem like it mattered. Like, why does this, I hate it. It don't, like you say, it didn't like me. But now like that thing that wasn't necessarily for you at that moment
Hmm.
in the future is something that you, now here's the question. What if you told yourself the same thing you're telling yourself now? You know what I'm saying? What if you were like, well, let me just see if I'm good at chemistry, right? Could you have, you know what I'm saying? It's that we don't realize the things that we said we couldn't do before, we ain't do it because maybe we didn't really try, or maybe because we really believe that we didn't. And then when
That part.
God puts it up in front of us and be like, now I thought you said you couldn't do this. And you're like, yeah, you're right, I can.
Look, you hit the nail on the head, and I believe the difference between Valencia 2024 and Valencia 1995 was how I talk to myself.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so then I would just, okay, I can't do it. I don't need to
Yep.
do it, but it was a more of a I can't.
Right.
And Valencia now is like, well, I'm gonna try.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And then when you just give yourself just that little bit, like I'm gonna try, and you discover you like good at something,
Yeah.
that's a win. Like you say with your list, I'm gonna start
Yes.
me a list today. I'm
Yes.
putting that on my I learned how to mix ingredients in a beaker.
Yes, I mean but but the thing about it is that those are things that when other hard stuff comes up, you can
Mhm.
go back and be like, I didn't think I could do this, and I
Yeah.
did, right? Like these are the, and like we were saying earlier, like that self doubt shows up in different areas
Yeah.
of our lives. I know for a fact that I had it when I was in my teens because it's still in me as an adult. So there's
Mhm.
literally no way it ain't just pop up. It's been there. And so now
Mhm.
I got to go back and be like, well, why do I believe this thing? Sometimes it's telling the
Mhm.
truth about yourself. Maybe it's something I did or didn't do or whatever have you that created this thought, but it could have came from somebody else or it could have came from me. And now I'm
Mhm.
discouraged or whatever the case may be. But as long as we're still here, we have an opportunity to be able to change the narrative of our story that we're telling
Mhm.
ourselves. Because the reality is that people don't see us the way we see ourselves.
Yep.
They see us better. They see us whole. They see us wonderful. They see us wonderfully made. And we over here like, girl, what you looking at? Like,
Mm.
you see what I see? No, I
Yeah.
don't. And we're quick to be like, no, that's not it. Even in giving, accepting compliments, right? Like I told my
Mm.
clients, plenty of people, I say, we're quick to dismiss it. Like, hey,
Yeah.
don't tell me nothing nice, right? Leave me
Yeah.
alone. Like, keep that to yourself. Versus now, I just say thank you and I received that, and I just
Mm.
I shut my mouth because I would used to be like, oh, it ain't nothing. I just did
Yeah.
blah blah blah. Oh, I just Googled that. Oh, no, that wasn't. No, I thank you. I received that.
Yeah.
And I move on.
Mm.
And then maybe later on it may hit me, be like, dang girl, you did do that. Like if it like and you feel good about, and those are the things that I add to my list. Right. Because now
Mm.
someone else noticed something that maybe I missed it. So even the
Yeah.
wins could be stuff that other people noticed about me that I didn't necessarily notice was a win for myself, because we're so used to just being like, womp womp. So
That's because we've been raised, heard, believed, whatever that you have to be humble.
mm-hmm. And we supposed to be humble and save the world. Now, how that work?
But why what does that even mean?
Yeah, yeah,
Like, don't think too high of yourself. Why? What does that mean?
yeah.
And so I was an annoying, I don't want to say annoying kid, but I was inquisitive. I would ask
Mhm.
questions.
Mhm.
Same way today, some people might find it annoying, some people might like it, but I'm gonna ask.
Yeah.
So when people say stuff like, "You doing good, but be humble," and I was, why? Why? So if my whole purpose in this lifetime is to inspire women,
Yeah. Yeah.
children, and know that despite what they grew up with, whatever that they could do. Yes, you could be the first in your generation to
Mhm.
buy a house. Yes,
Mhm.
with a southern accent, you can do interviews even though
Yes.
you extra southern, you know. it
Yes.
don't it don't matter. You could do that. If I'm being humble, how they're gonna know? Who am I inspiring by dim in my light?
Come on. She preaching over here, y'all. I just want you to know that.
uh
Listen,
Ooh,
okay?
that's that up in me,
Yes.
girl,
No, but
because
that
I see it.
yeah, that is a word though, because I think a lot of times people use that as like remain humble and all that because like they they are intimidated by your light, right? And I think there's a difference between because here's the thing, this is what I think. Humbleness isn't something that you can turn off or on, right? It's who you are. Like that, but
Mhm,
some people are just humble, like, and that means like not like I don't want you to look at me, but they just in who they are in their being.
mhm,
That is just how they show up. So I think you only tell people who are loud, who are sharing their wins, who are being super boisterous to be humble. Those are the only people that you telling to be quiet. The people you don't want to see when everybody else you
mhm,
like, oh yeah,
mhm.
I'm rooting for this person, this, that, and the third. But the people that you are secretly, this is just a little side. The people you
Oh,
secretly
mhm,
hating on, those are the people like she
mhm,
need to be quiet. Why?
mhm,
Why?
mhm,
Okay, because if it was you, you would be out here shouting
mhm.
from the mountaintop, right? And so I think that we just have to keep that at the forefront and we'll just
Yeah,
remember to ourselves and like don't make people dim their light because of you. If it's annoying to you, then leave me
move along.
alone. Leave me.
Move along.
I'm just not your person. I'm not your cup of
Yeah.
tea. And that's cool. And I think that what we do is a lot of for us as black women, we do a lot of apologies. Well, I'm sorry, I ain't mean that.
Oh,
No,
yeah,
no, no,
that.
girl. Share. I want to hear it. Tell me more. I'm out
Mhm.
here like Issa. I'm rooting for everybody black. Okay.
Yeah.
Like I want to know because here's the thing. You and I are connected right now
Yeah.
because of somebody else who was like, y'all say what you ask for what you want.
Want that
Say it out
part.
loud. Ask for what you want. Fight for the life that you want. Ask for the things that you need. Let somebody tell you no. Versus what we do is that like, oh, I created this space and I'm just gonna wait for the people to come who gonna notice me. No. What the old saying, the squeaky wheel gets the oil.
Yep.
It was loud and
Yep.
non-humble, and that
Yep.
and it got the oil, right? And
Yep.
so I think that we just have to remember that there's a way that you go about doing stuff. Like, of course,
Yeah.
you don't want to be, take over stuff and you don't want to do it in a negative way, but
Yeah.
shine your light. I saw something like at the beginning of the year. I'm gonna mess the quote up. I know I am. But it basically
See, look
said
at that self-talk. You saying you gonna mess the quote up
it's
before you
because
even.
well, you're right. But the reason why I know I'm going to mess it up is because I read so much stuff. Even when
Mm,
I mix so many things. So instead, because it's my show, I'm gonna just go look because I want to make sure that I say it right. Because the person took time to write this whole thing, so I'm gonna make sure. Okay, so it says, the price for you being easygoing is not getting what you want. Try to be a
mm,
little unreasonable in 2024. Fight for the life you want. And so we think being humble, right? And
oh,
being, oh, I'm okay. I'm gonna just go with the flow and whatever you want and all that other stuff. No, and there's people out here that's like, no, I'm not. You're wondering why the
mhm,
person next to you is getting things done is because they going after it. They fighting for it. Like, sorry, excuse me, this line, yeah, I was already
yeah,
here. You gonna have to wait, right? And then the other one that says the price you pay for being a pushover is a world that overlooks your strength. Stand firm in
mm,
2024, right? And so when we talk about that being humble, I think it's a state of being. It's like
yeah,
It's not about not asking for what you want. It's about how you go about doing it. You don't have to be rude. You don't have to be disrespectful. You don't
Yeah.
have to be nasty. You don't have to do, you don't have to tear nobody down to lift yourself up. If you got to do
Yep.
that, nah, we don't.
Yep.
You don't need to be connected with me. Okay.
Yeah.
Like that's not, we're not
Yeah.
doing that.
Because I run across a lot of people that assume because I present a certain way
Mm, mm,
that
mm,
I grew up a certain way.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
And people just say, I've had people, Valencia, I could tell you grew up in a great environment, you know, because you're not like them.
mm,
I
mm,
understand
mm,
code words
mm.
as well. Um,
Yeah.
and then I bust their bubble. Well, actually, my mother was a drug addict who was killed when I was 17, and I joined a gang when I was in fourth grade. But yeah, it all worked out.
Right. Yeah. And then they
Wrote
got the
the
stuff.
wrote the book.
Right.
Go buy it. It's on Amazon.
Yeah.
And then like stop judging people because
Yeah.
you don't know, and we have to stop. Not like literally, I live by the philosophy like do no harm but take no ish.
Mhm. 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 Yeah. That's it. And at the end, and I think that what happens is that we don't realize, well, we see people winning, and what
That
our definition of winning is. You
yeah,
don't know what it took to get there. You don't know
that
what they
part.
did, and I can guarantee you, all them people wasn't humble. Just a
Yeah,
FYI,
yeah,
But again, like I said, if it's a mindset and a state of being, like you being humble is just kind of who you are. It's just a natural. But like I said, I think it really is when people feel intimidated by that, they want you to
yeah,
dim your light, and I'm not dimming my light for nobody
yeah,
else, right? Like, and we have to learn not to dim our light for ourselves as well. Like, that's a part
yeah,
of this movement. Like, girl, show up, say what you need to say, and because you never know who needs to hear what
yep,
it is that you have to say. You are here to make impact, right? I've had
yeah,
somebody on the show who said, I'm not here to influence, I'm here to inspire, right? And so
mm,
that is different, right? So when you like, oh, okay, all right, anybody can be influenced, but
yeah.
not everybody can be inspiring.
Inspired,
Okay,
yeah.
you know what I'm saying? So I think that's a big thing. So let's get to Akanni Beauty, okay, y'all, because the reason why is that we are in this phase of life. Those of you all, you slayers out there that are in your early mid 40s, wherever you are, women, you are
Mhm.
perimental, mid middle, close to minnow, in the minnow, after minnow. I don't even know, right? At
All the
this point,
minnows.
all the minnows, okay? And why got minute? You know what? Just that's a whole nother thing, okay? But this is where we want to have this conversation. This is where your
Yeah.
chemistry came in and your beakers. So let's talk about the beakers and Akana Beauty. What is it? What do you have? How did you get here? Like I know you said earlier, realizing when you were fostering your daughters and you realize like, okay, something ain't right.
Yeah.
Something's not adding up. The math isn't mathing what is going on. Thought it was stress, thought it was these things. And then you said, I don't want to take anything that I don't grow. I don't want no
Yeah.
pots of it, right? And
Mhm.
so how did we get here to this space where you said, I want to be able to create something for women who have gone through this, who are going to go through this,
Yeah.
because we all are, okay? To make sure that they do it in a more loving way and supportive
Yeah.
way.
Well, my doctor who was probably getting a, I don't want to say, but that person is no longer my doctor,
Okay.
because I feel like if you give me trying to give me a prescription, you know
Mhm.
how I live. I'm borderline vegan, but I have a love of chicken that won't allow it.
Hey,
But
I
if
know a
you're
lot of people like that, but their pleasure is bacon, okay? And
look,
so
but I didn't like how I felt ill informed and ignorant about my body. Like this is
mm,
mine. This is
yeah.
24/7. And my doctor did not try to explain what was going on or even the side effects of hormone therapy.
Mm.
And so I'm with my stubborn self, curious self, I get to looking to try to find out what is this thing all about? What is
Mhm.
this all about? Because it's not a conversation that we have about perimenopause. All you think of hot flashes, that's it, you're in your 60s.
Yes.
That and that's not what it that's part
That
of
ain't
what it
it.
is,
I mean,
but it's
yeah.
not the
That ain't
it,
all it.
you know?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
So I started research. It was very disgusting when the images of menopause did not look like me. So
Mhm.
how can I be experiencing this
Right.
when I'm not them?
Yeah. Yeah, yeah.
But let me dig a little deeper because I'm like that stubborn part of me
Mhm.
that
Mhm.
I'm realizing I'm kind of smart part of me start kicking in. And so, long story short, I found research. I started learning about, and men do have menopause. It's not called menopause, it's called andropause. Just put that in your pocket.
What?
Yes. So I learned about the different stages and I said, okay, women have been dealing with this for years. What uh I can't even talk right, y'all. I'm sorry. What, herb or what works for this? What causes this? What
Yeah.
triggers this, and this?
Mhm.
And so, I, again, looking at the big picture, let me break it down to something little. What is something small I could start with to solve my own problem?
Yeah.
Well, as you get older and them hormones get to hormoning, your skin start sagging and be extra dry. I went from
Yes.
having oily skin to all of a sudden looking like Skeletor.
Mhm.
Can I solve this problem naturally first?
Mm. Yeah.
And being able to learn how to write formulas and do those things and starting there led into, okay, so what can I do about hot flashes? What can I do about this, and this naturally? Let's put these ingredients in different gumbos, so to speak,
Right.
and see
Uh-huh.
how it works. And one thing I did learn, your childhood trauma can affect your menopause, how bad you
Hmm.
may have it.
Oh, wow.
Now, I'll be 47 next month. So I'm in that stage. I'm postmenopausal. So that means I went through the peri, right? Peri is when you may still have a menstruation every couple of months, you start experiencing symptoms.
Mhm. Mhm.
So literally, this is how educated people are of what they try to tell us about our bodies and how they throw terminologies on us. Menopause is 1 day.
Hmm?
Yeah. So you're perimenopausal 4 to 7 years, right? When you don't have a menstruation for 12 consecutive months, that day, that the anniversary of you not having a menses, whatever the correct term is these days, for 12 months, that day is menopause. After that day, you're postmenopausal. Tell me how that makes sense. But but people wonder, doctors and stuff like that, wondering why women are actually taking the initiative to label things themselves and to learn things themselves. Because how does that make sense?
Yeah, because I thought that was a whole separate thing. Like,
Mm-mm.
I thought, oh wow. Because I'm thinking that when people, oh, I know, yeah.
So that's why
Wow.
in Akani, um, I use the term menopausal journey,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm. Yeah.
Because actually, when your hormones are flowing, you all fertile. That stage is called pre-menopause, right? When you
Before
when you
you, like
before
before you
you
hit Perry.
yeah.
Okay.
So
Okay.
when you fertile, you regular, you
Mhm.
producing all the eggs, and that is pre-menopause.
Okay.
Just but that's not really
Yeah.
a
That.
thing, right?
Right. Yeah.
So then you go into perimenopause, which can last 4 to 7 years,
Wait. Did you
maybe
say? Hold on.
shorter.
I thought you said years, but I was so stuck on the 1 day. Hold on. So for like 7 years, you could be going through this.
Yeah. Mhm. So, but this is the thing. You may not notice initially if you miss one or two. Can I say periods?
Yeah.
Can I
Child.
say okay?
Mhm.
Because
Mhm.
menstruation is a long
Right. So
word.
it
It's a
is.
whole long word. So you may not notice if you skip one or two periods.
Mhm.
Because you're gonna try say, maybe it's stress, maybe it's
Yeah.
this, and this,
Yeah.
right? So you could have by the time I realized I was perimenopausal, literally 2, 3 years later, I was postmenopausal. So by the time you realize
What's going
that,
on?
yeah.
You
So that,
already 5 years in.
yep, yep.
That is crazy. So this makes me think of, so for me personally, and I think I'm pretty sure I shared this on the show before, but if not, I don't even care. But I had a hysterectomy at 36, right? And
Mhm.
so 2 years. So it just made me think when you're saying how long it lasts, that I
Mhm.
remember there was a period of time where my cycle changed and it was
Yep.
like terrible. Like I thought I was a
Yep.
12-year-old, or and so I was just like, somebody save me. Right? This is
Mhm.
not, this can't be life. Like I can't, it was literally affecting my quality of life. And then come to find, I knew I already had fibroids from my when
Yep.
I was pregnant with my oldest son, but by that time I was like, okay, I'm gonna go and get them removed. And whole time I had adenomyosis, so that's a tumor on your uterus, but it was
Mhm.
benign. But that's the only reason I was able to get a hysterectomy at 36. It was because of, and the tumor was like 5 pounds. Okay, so it was like it
Mm.
was huge. But it just made me think like, by that time I was done having kids. And it was almost like it changed overnight. And I think
Mhm.
I'm wondering if other people would have the same question. Like,
Yeah.
could that be like that could be a part of perimenopause? Like, normally we think that it's going to dwindle away, but can it change where the shift in it causes? Is that possible?
Well, this is a thing that I've discovered. A lot of times, doctors are not sharing with women that if you have a hysterectomy, it can take you into perimenopause.
Yeah, I found that
They're
out
they're
later.
they're
Hmm.
not a lot of them not having that discussion with that. And I don't know much about the hysterectomy part, like how soon
Yeah.
after does it start? But I'm sure as your body adjusts and starts getting the remaining hormones out,
Hmm.
it's probably a gradual, but it may seem overnight, but your gradual may be faster or slower than somebody else's. And
Yeah.
that's the one thing I try to stress to women. Your menopausal journey, see, that's why I use that
Mhm,
term,
mhm, mhm.
is not going to be the same. It's very unique, kind of like when you used to have periods. Everybody didn't have PMS
Right,
or need a heating pad, and
right.
so don't think this is going to be the same because literally
Mhm.
there's like 34 steadily adding symptoms of perimenopause.
Yeah, man, there's like a whole lady on TikTok that is running through them joints, and I be
Yeah.
like, "That's a thing," and I was just like,
Hmm.
"I think that could be it." Because even
Yeah.
part of and so for me, like to your point of like, so the person who did my surgery was a man, just completely fine, but he, is good at what he saw. But I did ask about menopause, and like, oh, you don't have
Mm.
to worry about that till you're like in your 70s. Okay, now granted, based off of what you just said, if it's one day, well, child, I don't even have to worry about that no more because I don't even get that. So what difference do, like, that don't even make sense, right? But you're not saying that I'm going to be perimenopausal for a period of time. So fast forward, I'm 43 now. Last
Mhm.
year I started experiencing like hair loss and stuff. And so
Mhm.
all these different type of autoimmune stuff. And I was just like, what is going on? Get to Googling, some go to see the, and I'm like, it's like, well, you could be in perimenopause. And so I'm like, now how we get here if even understand. Make it make sense to me. Like, what are you saying? What do I need to do? It's like, well, you gotta reduce your stress, you gotta do this, you need to act.
Mhm.
And so I'm just like, whole time this man told me I ain't had to worry about nothing for like the next 5 decades. And now
And
what are we doing over here? We are missing, which is the reason why when I saw this, I said, see, this is the reason why I know I need to, because there's people out here who are not getting, they either don't know what to ask, they either having people give them misinformation,
yeah.
or like you said, they're quick to just give them some pills. Like, here, take this,
Oh
here, take
yeah.
that. And
Yeah.
that is just and that may, you don't realize the side effects of that pill
Mhm.
may give you a different type of um a different,
Blood clots.
yeah, you can get all
That's a
types of
side
stuff.
effect.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah,
There's
so
women, I'm part of different groups. There's different women cuz one of them is a patch. Now if I'm already dealing with the dry, itchy skin, that's one
mhm,
of the symptoms, right? If
yeah,
I'm already dealing that, why Imma put some patch, make it no. No, sir. How much
mhm,
money you get off of if I
right,
accept this prescription every month?
mhm,
Whole other story.
yeah,
But a lot of times and then that lets me know that your doctor not don't know women's bodies or
Yeah.
read any research, because according to research, the average age is 51.
Mm.
That's the average
For your
age.
menopause
Yeah.
for the one day.
So for your menopause. So most women don't start, right? So this the thing. I'm 47, so I'm postmenopausal. But don't think when you get here that the symptoms stop. I still sometimes get hot flashes. It don't just disappear. It don't just go into the ether.
Damn.
A lady that's on one of my pages, she's like in her 70s, and she was saying her friends in her 80s, and sometimes they still get hot flashes. And that's a misconception people have. It's like, well,
When
once
it's
I
over,
finish,
then
yeah,
yeah.
like I'm gonna be free. No, no, I still go, wait, who turned the heat on
Right.
sometimes, I still have my mood swings
Yeah.
sometimes,
Yeah,
because that's
yeah.
a big thing people don't talk about. Like, even the emotional side of it, the why all of a sudden I'm depressed. You
Mm,
can't say the word depressed without people wanting to,
listen.
what you say, 5150? Is that the
Right.
term?
Yeah, that is it's a
Girl,
5150. That's the
you depressed. Oh no, let me no. Just
yeah.
you can't express yourself.
That was one of the I was saying offline that when I
Mhm.
started and when I went to the doctors and I started having these conversations, I started reaching out to some of my girls in group chats and was just like, we all in our mid 40s, like,
Yeah.
anybody experiencing any perimenopausal symptoms? And they were like, what are they? So then I'm like, show the video that I saw, and I was like, well, this is some of the things my doctor said, and the amount of people who were like, oh my gosh, this makes so much sense. It's my anxiety. My anxiety is
Yeah.
through the roof. Like I'm so nervous about everything.
Yep.
Everything is causing, and then no, they're not having hot flashes or any of the like you said. Like we're waiting
Yeah.
for the big thing. Like I'm ready to have an
Mhm.
inferno on the inside. But meanwhile, I'm running around here nervous Nelly. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Just all
Heart
out
palpitations.
palpitation. Yes, all this the shortness of breath, all these different things
Mhm.
trying to figure, you got all this anxiety, you are trying
Mhm.
to figure things out, and not knowing that that is a symptom, especially when it comes out of nowhere, right? Like, and
Yep.
you just like, well, where did this come from? I don't even
Yeah.
know. Um, but yeah, so okay, so I'm because I'm already on here. Okay, so I see we got subscription boxes. So what comes in the boxes? So y'all, she got boxes over here. You can subscribe. You can just get a box, or so I see it's got a lot of goodies in here. What you got in here, girl? What's in these boxes?
So the purpose of the subscription box, right? It's called the Me Time Experience. The Me is for
Mm-hmm.
menopause. So
See what you did there.
one thing I transitioned to a subscription box versus individual products, because I wanted to devote time to raising
These
toddlers
children's. Mm-hmm.
these
Mm-hmm.
toddlers. So, and this also gives me the opportunity to support other small and women-owned businesses that have natural products,
Yeah.
right? That
Right.
that
Okay.
help in this self-care and wellness journey.
That's nice. Yeah, I see.
So,
I can see in some things we got candles, we got books. Okay, y'all get the benefit if you're watching this on YouTube, but if you're listening elsewhere, I guess you need to go tune in on YouTube. Don't forget to subscribe so she
yeah.
can show you the box. Go ahead, show the box.
So, well, this is because it's supposed to be an experience, right?
Okay.
Because like you said, we're saying earlier about us wanting to save everybody else, no time for us. So that's why I named it the Me Time Experience. So this pull up, get delivered to your door. You see this beautiful gold box. I have
Yes.
another one as well. And you like, ew, this is luxury.
Yeah, it is. I
And
listen.
then
It's the
you
black and
open it,
gold for me. Okay.
that part, because I want you to use natural products that and this how, yeah, I'm working on my business skills. So this, look, this don't even have a label. We're not gonna do that. Skip that part. But I try to be prepared. This is brain fog. Okay,
Good
it's a
job.
menopausal symptom.
It's okay. It's okay. That's why. Remember earlier I said it's gonna be what it is at the end of the day, and I think that might be a part of when you just get to the point where you just like, you know what? I don't even care. Like, what you got? So I'm gonna read through this, and so
Okay.
it says well, what I can see. So we got candles. I see a cup. I see some. So what's the oil? I see some oil.
So we have a face oil for that menopausal dry skin. We also have a body oil. Now I'm a firm believer in and learned about aromatherapy. So, and
Mm.
a lot of times we mistake because something smells good. It's not. I mean, yeah, it's gonna smell good, but what's the benefit if
Yeah.
I have that hint of clary sage or frankincense
Mm.
or red clover? Like, what does that do for me naturally?
Yeah.
Not besides having skin benefits or their aromatherapy benefits.
Yeah.
So I advocate for de-stressing if you dealing with hot flashes, warm nights, or just want the aromatherapy. I have a cooling mist, and everything is very set to be eco luxury. Everybody don't need to know what you dealing with.
Yeah. Amen.
It don't have
Amen.
menopause on
Right.
side the bottle because it ain't none of
Anybody
your
need a
business.
menopause spray?
Right, because it looks like and smells like a body spray, but
Yeah.
in the
Yeah. Yeah.
meantime, it has a cooling agent, it has that aromatherapy, so it is very good as well to help you with your moods, that anxiety to
Mm.
bring you back,
Yes.
you
Okay.
know?
And so we got journals. We got a journal
Yeah,
that's in here.
yeah, and I
Um,
have, on the website, so you'll get, like, a code that takes you to a secret part of the website to give you journal prompts and updated resources
that is
there.
nice.
And I want it, and then so the box changes depending on the focus, right? So
Okay.
for instance, February is the month of love, self-love, and those things. So for the
Mhm.
month of February, I have self-love dice
Oh, nice.
with that you could also use for journal prompts
Okay.
as
I
well.
like
So
that.
it'll ask you, like, one dice will say, what do you love? And then the other dice may say about your body,
I like that. I like that.
you
So
know,
the first thing that I love about it is that you changing the narrative of it because I also
that
think
part.
that when we talk about menopause, it's like, dread. Like whenever
Yeah,
anybody says it's like, girl, I don't, we talk about the negative stuff, right? But
yeah,
you have changing the narrative of it and how you feel about it. Like at this point, I'm like, well, I don't mind going through it if I'm be getting
right.
if
And
I'm
then
be getting this.
the good thing too about the product, because I wanted to make sure, so let's say you ordered a box,
hmm
then in that box you get a resource guide, because everybody may not want to scan a code to go to the website to go,
Yeah, yeah.
okay, I'm gonna make it easy, a no brainer,
I know that's right.
right?
Mm-hmm.
So let's go ahead, and you want to know about different things with menopause. All the questions you asked me, I put it in a
Mm.
resource guide. So it helps educate you, because education is power,
Yeah, yeah.
right? Especially when you apply it. So I'm
Right.
applying my chemistry.
Look at you out here now for real. This is like this is like I said, I knew once I saw it and I knew what it is that you did like so whenever and that's just unneeded information. I was going to tell them about the whole like when you put your information. Anyway, when I saw it, that I was like it was about menopause and revolutionizing menopause care with the
That part.
me time experience. I said, okay, because I also think that when again going back to taking care of yourself first,
Yep.
right? When your body is going through all of these changes and no one else around you knows what's happening to you,
Yep.
you can get labeled certain things, right? But
Oh
you
yeah.
being educated and having the resources, you can be like, no, I don't
Yeah.
have, I'm not lunching or whatever's going on. Like right now,
Yeah.
I am having a moment. Okay.
Yeah.
My mother
Yeah.
calls them, and she, oh, I'm having a personal summer. Like we got
Yeah.
these little cute names to certain things. But now
Yeah.
that
And
we know
just
what's going on, we can be like, give me a second.
yeah.
I need
And I
some
had
me time right
It's
here.
funny you say that, because literally I just did so on the website I call them deep talks, right?
Okay.
So because see, this is a conversation you not only need to have with your partner, you need to have it with your kids. Cause
Mm.
mama not mamaing how she used to mama.
Correct. Correct.
We
Yep.
don't think about that, but kids are people too, so you may
Mm-hmm.
need to know why mama just can't today,
Yeah.
or why
Yeah.
you walk in the bathroom and mama crying, and
Right.
that
Yeah.
don't mean like you need to,
What's wrong?
like,
What's
cuz
happening?
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, and just having that and help them, like, and I've had this discussion with my son. Yes, he gave me a blank look, but
But guess
he
what? You are preparing them for later, right? Like these are the
right,
conversation
right.
when you have boys, and I think that there's something that difference. If you had a girl, of course you're gonna talk about it because she's gonna go through the same thing you're going through.
Yeah,
But I think having boys and being able to share certain things allows them to be sympathetic and
yeah,
empathetic to
yeah,
what you're going through, right? And so
yeah.
no, this is dope. I'm so yeah, I don't you worry, girl. I'm about to be yep, and I'm about to send this out to all my friends. But for y'all, it's gonna be in
Yay.
the show notes. But Valencia, can you tell the people how you can connect with them? How they can
Yay.
connect with you? Child, what?
And I want to connect with them too.
Yes,
So
and vice
so this
versa. Mm-hmm.
because they may have questions and stuff.
Yes, and then
So
y'all can slide in their DMs. Okay,
yes.
where you at, girl? Where you at?
I'm on Instagram and Facebook, and you could find Akanni Beauty, AKANNI Beauty, or you could just find me, Valencia G. Wallace. Uh Now the central hub where all links are present is AkanniBeauty.com.
And y'all already
And
know. I told you it's gonna
yeah,
be in the show notes, so you don't have to worry
yeah,
about trying to go search to figure it out. What
yeah,
she no,
yeah,
don't worry about it. Just go ahead. And if you watching this on YouTube, if you whatever device you're on outside of it being on your TV, go down to the notes and it'll be in there so that you can get connected with Valencia. Valencia, thank you so much. This was such a amazing conversation. I always say that God knows exactly who I need to talk to, when I need to talk to them, and I'm so grateful that He even gave me the space and this platform to be able to talk about the things that we don't share outside of here. Like this is the conversation that we have to continue to
yeah,
have. And I can already see how we're gonna work together in the future. So y'all stay
yes,
tuned, okay? Because she just told you you're gonna be perimenopausal for up to like 7 years. So I mean,
yeah.
we literally got something to talk about for the next
Mhm.
7 years. Okay.
Exactly.
So you just never know. So again, Valencia, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me.
You are so welcome. All right, y'all. Until next week. See ya. As always, y'all, thank you for rocking with me. Again, if you enjoyed this podcast and you find it valuable, you enjoy this channel and you find it valuable, please consider donating by buying me a coffee. Your support will help me to create new content, get an official podcast studio, and ultimately reach more people. That's what we need. We need more people on this movement. Okay. If you're not already signed up to the newsletter, go to my website, www.slayingselfdoubt.com, and sign up for the Slayer Nation newsletter. That's where you'll get updates, where you'll get what's going on. You'll get the news first. You don't have to wait until I announce it or hear. Okay. And lastly, well, second to last, please make sure that you share this with at least 10 people. We are trying to reach 100,000 downloads this year, and every subscription, every share counts. So we need it. We need you to send it out to your peoples so they can help us hit our goal this year. Lastly, if you are not already following me on Instagram, you need to go on over there and follow me at Slaying Self Doubt. Until the next episode, see ya.